Hey everyone, Regan here from the Xero API team. Today I'm going to show you a demo using a really cool natural language coding tool called Replit. We're going to build an appointment booking system together, and that appointment booking system is going to integrate to Xero. It's going to create a contact in your Xero account when somebody books an appointment, and then it will also create an invoice and link that online invoice to a user when it gets created so that they can pay the invoice before the appointment. If you haven't used a natural language coding tool before, I think you're going to be very impressed by what it's capable of. If you've used AI to do code before, you're probably going to be impressed with how far it's come. We won't even need to see code as part of this demo. We are just going to be writing natural human English language prompts to get the computer to create this website that's going to allow your customers to book an appointment with you. It's going to be a great journey. Jump on board, get yourself a nice warm jersey, a good beverage, and something to eat, and follow along if you want. If you don't want to follow along and you just want to watch, that's also fine. But yeah, if you like what you see, drop a comment below, let us know. And also, if there's something else that you want to see on the back of this, then we'd love to hear about it as well. But for now, let's get into the code. Let's get started.
So this is Replit. First thing you'll probably notice is there's no code anywhere. There's just a lovely introductory greeting where it says, "Hi Regan, what do you want to make?" Well, I'll tell you what I want to make today. Today I want to make a booking appointment software for your website with you. And I want to show you how easy it is, because it really is easy. Like, you go back 5 years and putting this together, you'd be talking someone doing some custom development and spending a lot of time doing it and probably spending a lot of your money doing it. But now I'm using the free version of Replit. You can pay for it if you'd like. If you want to deploy the app at the end of this, you will need to pay Replit some money to deploy it on their platform. But you'll be able to follow through this tutorial with the free version. You'll be able to see it working as a demo before you make a decision like that. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to copy and paste a prompt I prepared earlier, like all the good chefs do. I'm going to drop that in there. So we're going to make a booking website where clients can see your availability and schedule appointments, send automatic confirmation emails and reminders. We're going to design it with a clean calendar interface and a modern booking flow. So pretty broad set of instructions there, but there's a few specific things that should give it enough to go on. What I'm going to do is I'm also just going to throw in there something about Xero, because we want this to integrate with Xero. So I'm also going to say, hey, can we integrate this with my Xero account using the Xero API via a custom connection? I'm choosing a custom connection here, and you should too, because we're only ever going to connect this to one single Xero organization, which is going to be our Xero organization. If you use the custom connection flow, it dramatically simplifies the authentication process and the setup process for doing this. Otherwise, you're going to have to do all sorts of things where you find a way to get an access token and a refresh token and keep that going. The advantage of a custom connection is that you don't need to refresh your access tokens. You can just consistently use the same token. Makes it much easier to manage. It is a premium product of ours, so it does cost a little bit each month, but it is absolutely worth it. It keeps the simplicity level high and makes it a lot easier for you to integrate with Xero if you're building something like this yourself and you're not a full-time software developer that knows all of the ins and outs of OAuth and how everything works. The website, it should create a contact for the person that books the appointment. Great, we want a contact in Xero, right? We want to be able to keep track of people that make multiple bookings. We want to have a relationship with them. We want to be able to follow up with them if we think they need other appointments. Having that stuff in Xero is really handy for that. And then we're also going to send them an invoice for the appointment cost. Link to the invoice in Xero should be sent in the email and the email reminders. So that's hopefully enough instructions for this to get started. I'm going to click Start Chat. You can choose app types here. I wouldn't in this case. Just leave it to auto, but just so you know, there are options here. You can choose to do a modern web app, an interactive data app. This is not going to be a 3D game. You should not choose that. You should not choose interactive data app either. You could choose really between modern web app and a Python web app. If you are a Python developer, you might choose Python. If you're happy to let Replit choose for you and you don't really mind what the code is, I imagine it's going to choose to do a modern web app rather than a Python web app, but it'll, let's have a look. We might roll the dice and see something different, but I imagine Auto is going to choose modern web app for you based on the instructions that we've given it. So let's click Start Chat and see what happens. It's going to think about it for a little bit. So it goes into planning mode to begin with. And it's going to create a comprehensive plan for our booking website with the Xero integration. It's going to be a full-featured appointment scheduling system with automated invoicing and email notifications. Great, sounds like what we want. And what's really cool is it's able to take what we've written and then actually build out a comprehensive plan based on that, right? So there's things here that we didn't really mention, right? So interactive calendar, great. Yeah, we mentioned that. Time slot selection interface, that is not something that we explicitly mentioned, right? Client booking form with name, email, phone, and service. It just kind of knows that we need those things. That's pretty cool, right? Appointment confirmation system, basic email notifications, yes. It's interesting that it says it's mocked them for MVP. Simple availability management, cool. Booking history display, and a Xero integration that's mocked for MVP. That's also interesting. Let's see how we go. All right, and then we've got some later things. Okay, do the real Xero API integration with OAuth authentication, automated email reminders and confirmations, payment processing integration, advanced calendar management. Okay, so really I think today we're really just going to get to this one. Extra for experts will be these automated email reminders and payment processing, but really we'll get payment processing for free because we're using Xero. So we won't need to do anything on top of this in order to make that happen. We could do something in the website, could use something like Stripe, but because we're using Xero invoices, we won't need that one. But look, overall, the plan looks good. I mean, we could go back and we could chat and we could say, hey, we're mocking this for MVP, can we get it working? But it's probably good to trust it and just say like, hey, it's okay to mock it to begin with, and then we'll get it working. Let's see what happens. But look, while we've been talking, it's put together this visual preview. I mean, that looks like a pretty nice calendar booking site, right? Like I've used other calendar booking sites and, it's a calendar. We can pick dates on it. That's great. This isn't interactive yet, but it will be by the time we finished it. So I'm just going to click Approve Plan here. And then once I click Approve Plan, Replit's agent, it should say it's not Replit itself. Replit has an agent that is using AI to build all of this. It is now going to go and actually build all of these things out. So we might let it do that. It could take a little bit of time. So I will come back with you once it's finished booking all of this, finished coding all of this. We can click here to get notified when the app's ready. We should do that so that we can come back once it's done. But like, waiting for your dinner, cooking in the oven, getting a little ding ding when it's all done. Can just go away and leave it. Let's do that. All right. About 10 minutes later, it says 8 minutes. It took 8 minutes and it cost 83 cents. It's pretty good. It's come back and it thinks it has got to a point where it can show us this operating, which is pretty cool. So let's walk through it. As you can see here, it created a whole bunch of files. TypeScript files, so it used the modern web app. By the looks of things, it chose not to use Python. It was like, great, I'll just use TypeScript for all of this. It's built a bunch of things, a whole bunch of different files with a bunch of different code. We can look at the code if you want later. If you want to see more code in these tutorials, then drop a comment below and let me know. But I'm going to focus on the functionality to begin with. So it's built our modern booking website with our calendar interface and our mocked Xero integration. We've got a complete booking system and a calendar interface. It's got mocked Xero integration, service selection, email confirmation system, recent bookings dashboard. Wow, okay, so it's actually gone above and beyond what we originally asked it to, which is pretty cool. But let us actually jump in here and see if we can actually make a booking. I will book something for Friday, June the 27th. 9 o'clock's too early for me. I'm more of an afternoon person. Let's go for 2:30. Great. What service type is it? Let's have a coaching session. Why not? You know, could do with a bit of coaching always. What's my name? My name is Regan. Let's just put my name. And it helps if I capitalize my name properly. Let's put my email address. I will put zeroaidemos@gmail.com. Feel free to drop me a line if you want. I won't be checking that email address very regularly, but I will answer if you do email me. What's my phone number? Can I just put the example? Does that work? Let's see what kind of validation it's got. Seems to have accepted that. Let's hope it does. And I will book the appointment. Okay, and we get a message, an error message. Validation error. Code invalid type. Expected a date and I received a string. But we don't need to worry too much about this. Let's just copy and paste this error and say, when I booked an appointment I got the following error. Let's let it figure out that little typo. We've given it the specific error that we got. What Replit is going to do is its agent is going to go, okay, I can see this issue. The error occurs because the booking form is sending an appointment date as a string, but the backend expects it as a date object. I'll fix the validation and type issues. Great. So if you're not a developer and you don't understand what this means, so different variables can have different types depending on the language that you're using. TypeScript is pretty cool because it does enforce particular types on things. So if something is a string, so you can write a date as just a block of text, but in order to represent it as a date, you might do that in different ways. You might have it as a number that represents the number of days since Unix has been operating, a number of milliseconds since Unix has been operated. You might have a particular structure where it's like year, month, day, hours, minutes, seconds, milliseconds, and so on. There's lots of different ways of representing dates. But the important thing is that if you pass it to something that is expecting a particular date format, and it is just, you've just sent it a block of text, it's not going to know what to do with that. So that's what it's figuring out here, is it's saying, all right, I am going to format this properly before I send it to the backend service, and I'm going to make sure that it's getting exactly what it's expecting. It's even testing it using curl. That's pretty cool. So curl is just a command line tool for making requests to different services. Okay, it says the validation issue is still occurring. That's pretty cool. It's going to test it again with curl to make sure that it's working. It's still occurring. Okay, it's using Drizzle for schema transformation. Cool. It's not working as it expected. It's going to fix this by creating a proper validation schema that handles the string to date conversion correctly. So you can imagine, right? If you were a human being investigating all of these things, you'd have to go to Google, ChatGPT, whatever your flavor of choice is. I use Claude a lot, and look up these errors that you're finding. If you didn't know what different types in TypeScript were and how to control those, you'd have to look up that. The fact that this agent already has some of this knowledge and is able to use that knowledge and then gain knowledge of the system it's created by running it itself is when I first saw this, I was like, holy moly, like this is wow, absolutely next level amazing stuff. We're talking about, just to do this, right, to take a human being would be, if you really knew what you were doing, maybe you could do it in a few hours, but really, at least you're talking a day, I would imagine, right? Like, I've built things like this in the past, and it definitely didn't take me 8 minutes, right? Like, I couldn't have made that in 8 minutes with errors, so the time savings are massive. But anyway, it thinks it's successfully built and fixed our appointment booking website. Let's try again and see if it works. Let's go for a workshop this time. I'm feeling collaborative. Yep, I'll be Regan again. Let's not complicate things with different names and different identities. I will use Xero demos. I should spell that correctly. Actually, I wonder if this is mocked, because it didn't say that it was mocking the email service. So we'll figure that out. 555. Give it some numbers. No additional notes. Automated billing. My contact details will be added to our system and an invoice will be sent to your email. That's great. Why can I not? Because I haven't picked a date. Should pick a date. Let's do our collaborative workshop on the weekend. Give it a little bit of time. Gentlemen's hours. Let's book it for 10 o'clock. Booking confirmed. Great. Okay. Did it send me an email? Let's find out. I don't think it would have, because I haven't put my email credentials in anywhere. No. Okay. So, but great. Like as a workflow, it works. Somebody can come to the site, they can click on things and they can book them. It assumes that this has gone somewhere, but it obviously hasn't. So let's take care of that next. So this is pretty cool, right? Like the fact that this is running in a preview browser within Replit, which I'm running in a browser, right? There's sort of some browser inception going on there. I can click here to run the site outside of Replit, and so that can give you a better impression of what an actual user would see. But largely, it's the same, right? It's the same experience. So I'm going to say this works great. Can we set up the Xero integration? Sorry, brand team, I didn't capitalize the word Xero. And the emailing now. And let's see what happens. Yeah, so currently we're using mock services. Let me set up the actual integrations. Great. Okay, you can get Xero credentials by creating an app at developer.xero.com. I sure can. Thank you. For email, you can use SendGrid. Okay. We can use SendGrid. I think I'm going to... And this is where sometimes you need to do a little bit of directing, right? So we could use SendGrid. That is going to introduce another dependency, and we're going to have to set up a SendGrid account. So I might just steer this a little bit. And I'll say, can we please use SMTP directly rather than SendGrid? and we'll see what it says there. So it's going to switch all of that up for us. It's using NodeMailer, which is an open source library for mailing things using SMTP. Great, so it's asking for a from address and a to address now. It has hidden where I needed to input that, which is a little bit interesting. Can you help me set my secrets up? Now that's very vague, right? Like, what's a secret? You know, but it actually knows what a secret is. A secret is kind of Replit language for these are credentials that I want to keep safe and secure. It's got its own system for managing that. But if you're a developer, what is it actually going and doing here? Okay, email service TS. Let me create a real SMTP email service and Xero integration. I thought you already did that, Replit. Why are you doing that again? Okay, it's creating a setup guide page to help us configure the secrets. That's going above and beyond. It's not really what I wanted to do. No, I don't want a simple configuration interface within the app. We can pause. We can say, I don't want to configure these secrets in the app. I just want to configure them here. Yes, great. It understands now. I understand. You want to configure. Great. This is what I was expecting to see, right? So these are the settings that we want to set. So occasionally you have to step in. You'll have to pause and you'll have to say, wait a minute, that's not what I meant. You've misunderstood. Just like you would have to do with a human being every now and then, right? So the from email address, I'll just use my my example, Xero AI demos at gmail.com. What's my SMTP host is going to be smtp.gmail.com. If you're using another mail service provider, it's a really common thing to give to allow people to have access to SMTP servers. If you're not using Gmail, you're using something else, there'll be a different SMTP host here, but if you are using Gmail, you can use the same settings as what I've used here, and that'll be fine. For Gmail, you do need to do something specific where you have to set up multi-factor authentication, and you have to get an app password. Luckily, I've already done that. But if you want to do it, the way that you would do it is, sorry, I will go slower. That was a little bit too fast. If you go to your Gmail, you click on your user up here, and you go to manage your Google account. And you come to security. You would set up two-factor authentication, and that would be great. And then there is a service within here called app passwords, where you can create a specific password for a specific app. It's going to make me confirm that I'm me. It's probably going to check my second factor of authentication too. It will do this for you as well. This is just a good way of protecting things. We don't want somebody else coming in and creating an app password and having access to our email, right? So yeah, I already created one. I'll create a new one, which we'll call booking system. Because let's say you had a couple of these different things doing sending emails. Maybe you want to have be able to cut one off, or have it not be able to continue operating. You could just delete this, and then it would no longer work. So I'm going to say yes. Booking system is this one. Great. It's given me a password, and it's showing all of you that password. I'm going to delete this password directly after this. In fact, I'll probably scrub this out. You won't be able to see it. But great, I've got a password. I'm going to copy and paste that into here. And the port, we will use probably 587 for TLS. And the SMTP user is just, if you're using Gmail, it'll be the same as your email address. But you might have an alias that you want the emails to come from. That's entirely up to you. This is a very deep part of this subject, is what what email address and how to set up an SMTP server. So I won't go into all the detail here. If this particular part is super interesting to you, I would have a chat with your AI assistant of choice, whether that's ChatGPT or Gemini or Claude, and talk through it and talk through the options, because you could have an alias for like no reply at whatever your domain is, but your username might be different for that. So yeah, if you need to deep dive into that, that's fine, but this will get us working is the most important thing. So now here it said a 0 client ID, a 0 client secret, and it's asked for a 0 redirect URI. The fact that it's asked for a redirect URI is a little bit of a flag for me that it has not set this up properly. But it hasn't used a custom connection like I asked it to, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to log into my Xero developer account, and I'm going to get my client ID and my client secret from my custom connection. So I'm going to go to developer.xero.com. Great. I'm going to log in. I'm going to trust this device so you won't see that again. I'm getting my second factor of authentication checked, which is good, keeps my Xero account safe. We're in. I'm going to create a new app here. We're going to call it Booking System. And the type that I'm going to choose, this is going to be operating on the web, but I'm not making it for other people. I'm just making this for me. It's not a mobile or desktop app. I'm going to choose a custom connection as a premium one-to-one integration, right? Because this is only ever going to integrate to my Xero account. I'm not going to allow other people to use it with their Xero accounts, right? So this is the easiest way to get this up and running. Yeah, you can use it in the UK, Australia, New Zealand, and the USA. Other regions, unfortunately, it's not available, but you can try it out with the demo company. Yeah. So I'm going to give it a company URL. Let's just put, I'll just put Xero.com for now. That will do. Put your actual website rather than Xero.com though. And when I come to scopes, there's 2 scopes that I'm going to need for this. I'm creating an invoice, so I'm going to need accounting transactions, and I'm creating a contact, so I'm going to need accounting.contacts as well. I'm going to use my user. I'm going to save and connect. And what that's going to do is it's going to send me an email that I'm going to have to do something about. We've got a security alert because we added some different stuff to our Google account. It's fine. I will just get rid of that, and I'll click on this email from Xero about my custom connection. I'm going to click connect, and that's going to direct me to authenticate with Xero's system and the demo company. If you had like, I don't have another real live org connected to this. If you were connecting this to your real live org, you might get a drop down here where you could pick from the different organizations you have connected. I'm just going to connect this to the demo company. So I'm going to say allow access. It's probably a good idea to test this with the demo company before you actually go live with things as well. So great. And I've got my booking system, which is connected here. After that, I can come back to developer.xero.com. I can refresh this page and it will give me my client ID, which I will copy and come back to Replit, and I will paste it in here. And then I'm just going to put this into invisible so that when I generate my secret and I copy it, you all can't see it. I'm not going to set my redirect URI. Actually, I'm going to have to put something or it won't let me save. So let's just put a space in redirect URI and we'll continue. Great. So it's saved those values. It just says it's cleaning up agent memory. I'll wait for that to finish and then I will say to it, hey, let's solve this problem with the Xero integration. Okay, it's restarted the application because we've set those things. The Xero node package export structure is different. Let me fix the input and also clean up the setup page since you don't need it. Okay, so this is before it kind of went down the wrong track. It was setting up a setup page and we didn't want that. So it's getting rid of that stuff now, which is great. It's trying to run it again. Having some trouble with Xero node. Okay, but it's doing a pretty good job of diagnosing what the issue is and resolving it without me getting involved and having a look through the code at what's going wrong. All right, it's running it. Okay, so let's pick a date. We'll go Friday 10 a.m. this time. Let's just choose a consultation. This time I'll be Obi-Wan. Where am I typing? I'm not even typing here. I'll be Obi-Wan Kenobi. I will be xeroaidemos@gmail.com. I will put +1 555 1 2 3 4 5 6 7. Great, and we'll book the appointment. Booking failed to create booking. Okay. So it's not all sunshine and rainbows. Sometimes these things don't work. Let's paste the error in here and we'll say I got an error. Let's see if it figures it out. So the other thing that Replit does is it lets you know how much of your limit you've used. So you can see we've used 68% now. We are getting up to the limits of the free plan. It'll be interesting to see if we can get this 100% working before we hit that limit. Okay, it's going to test the booking system to make sure the SMTP service is working properly with our credentials. Okay, it thinks it's fixed it. Still says it's using mock data until OAuth is fully implemented for the Xero integration. Okay, well we'll do a coaching session. Regan, all right, good misspelling there. We are xeroaidemos@gmail.com. Okay, and let's book our appointment. I haven't picked a date again, so let's pick 3:30 on the weekend. Great, booking confirmed. Invoice generated, contact created in Xero, and invoice sent to your email. View the invoice. I don't think it would have created anything, or did it? No. Okay. It's just taking me to a new invoice page. Interesting that it got that far. Okay. Let's see if we got an email, eh? We got an email. Yay! Email works. So we are at least halfway there. Great, but that view invoice won't work either, I'll bet. It'll take us to that new invoice screen. Yeah, which is not what we want. Okay, so we just need to fix that bit up now. Can we please get the Xero integration working? I'm just going to get a link for custom connections. So I don't want to have to do a full OAuth authentication flow. You should be able to connect to Xero using the custom connections method using client credentials. Well, using the client credentials grant type with the client ID and client secret I've provided by following these instructions. Okay, and I've just sent it a link to Xero's documentation about custom connections that has all the details of how custom connections work. So it can actually go and read that web page and determine what it needs to do to make it work. So let's see how it gets on with that and how much of our 28% of credits it's going to use. Great. So it says perfect. I'll implement the Xero custom connection using client credentials grant type. This is much simpler than the OAuth flow. Absolutely it is. That's why I wanted to use it. That's why I told it to use it to begin with, right? Maybe we should have been more explicit in our original prompt. One cool thing you can do with some of these AI tools is at the end of it, you can say, hey, Replit, like how could I have given you better instructions to begin with that would have got us to this endpoint? So extra for experts, you can try that. Actually, one other prompting technique you can use is you can, before you even come to Replit, you can go to a tool like ChatGPT or Claude or Gemini, and you can say, I need to build a booking system in Replit. Can you give me a prompt that will help me set it up, and give it all the requirements? So using other AI tools to create prompts for other AI tools is fantastic. Like, it really works. Okay, it says I've implemented Xero custom connection using client credentials grant type as per the documentation. Let's test the real Xero integration. Yes, please. It didn't actually use that much of our credits, so that's pretty cool. Great. Let us give this a go. Let's book a workshop. My name is Kermit the Frog. I'm going to send it to our Xero AI demos. gmail.com. Let's just try putting in a random phone number and see if that works. I need to pick a date. Let's go for Thursday at 3:30 p.m. It's got some good validation on the phone number. That's excellent. Is that going to work? Yes, booking confirmed. Cool. Now, did it put an invoice in our Xero account? It did not. The link to the Xero invoice does not appear to be taking me to an actual invoice. It takes me to a create invoice screen in Xero. It doesn't appear that the contact or the invoice have been created in Xero. Let's see what it says with that. Okay, restarting the application. So it thinks it's found the problem. It's restarted the app. Is it going to tell me it's fixed it? So it can be very confident sometimes that it has fixed the problem, and it will come back and look, it says, I've fixed the Xero API authentication method. So the proof is in the pudding. We will test it and see if it has indeed fixed it. System is fully functional. Well, let's find out, shall we? We'll do a consultation for Miss Piggy on a Muppets buzz at the moment. Haven't watched the Muppets in years. If you've watched the Muppets in years and you've got to this point in the video, let me know in a comment below. Xero AI demos at gmail.com. Okay, book this appointment. Failed to create booking. Okay. This is not a straight line. This is pretty normal, I would say. Like, getting software working the first time is quite often a challenge. We quite often find things that don't work. It's pretty normal to have errors and to need to fix them. This is one of the values of a real software engineer looking at things, is that they quite often know the pitfalls before they happen, and they're able to avoid them, and they're able to solve them relatively quickly. So this is another value of AI, right? Is AI is able to identify issues pretty quickly. It thinks that it's solved it. Hopefully it has. I imagine it's looking at the console to work out what's gone wrong here. I mean, we can look at the console. I'm not going to. We're in full vibe coding mode here. We don't need to look at console logs or look at the code. We're just telling the AI to do that. If we get closer to our limit, maybe I'll dive in a little bit. But okay, it thinks it's fixed it. Let's try again. I'll go for a workshop with Animal. You may be asking yourself, Regan, why do you continue to type these things? Why have you not got this that you can copy and paste it somewhere? It's a good thought. I didn't have that thought until just now. So I'm going to do that. All right. Haven't picked a date. We'll pick a date. Any date will do. Book the appointment. Come on, you can do it. Okay, we've got a confirmed screen. Let's view the invoice. Yes, Animal has a workshop booked. Fantastic. $345 we got there. One big problem though. This is not the invoice that we want to send to a customer. This is our invoice in our Xero account. If somebody else clicks on this link, they're not even going to see this that we want them to see, right? So I'm going to have to tell it that it's got it wrong again, unfortunately. Hey, the Xero invoice link we're showing in the confirmation and the email it's a deep link to my Xero account. Can we use the online invoice URL instead? The instructions on how to get an online invoice URL are here, and I've given a link directly to Xero's documentation where it says, here's how you can retrieve an online invoice URL. So let's send that to Replit and see what Replit's agent does with that. It's probably going to say, excellent. Oh, great. Okay, it's working perfectly. Yes. I'm sorry, Replit. I could have told you that it was working. Great. And it's implementing our online invoice URL feature as we requested. So the agent thinks that it's fixed the problem. You will notice here our agent usage is getting quite high. We're at 87%. Getting a little bit nervous now that I'm going to have to spend some money, but that's okay. We can do it if we need to. Has it got the invoice link correct? That is the big question. So we're going to do a coaching session for the Swedish chef. This better work because I'm running out of Muppets. All right, and I'm going to copy and paste my phone number. I will pick a date for the booking. Cross your fingers, cross your toes, cross everything. It's confirmed. View invoice. Boom. And we've got a beautiful online invoice from Xero. The invoice has been created as a draft. So that is something that we will need to change. We want the invoice to be created as an approved invoice so that we can apply a payment method to it. That's a pretty quick change. Let's do that. Let's see if we can find it in our invoices though. Swedish chef. Great. Cool. It's there. It's got everything. It's actually automatically chosen the 200 sales account. If you're using a different account for your sales, you might want to tell it that you want to send it to a different account. But for me, 200 is fine because I'm using the demo company, and the demo company uses the 200 account for sales. So I'm going to say that is working. Thank you. We should always say please and thank you to our new robot overlords. Can we please create the invoice as an approved invoice rather than a draft? Now this is probably a personal taste thing. Like I'm comfortable with it creating an approved invoice. Maybe you would prefer to review it before approving it. Totally up to you, whatever works for you. Human in the loop is a good technique using AI. There are some things that you really want some human eyes over before you send it to people. But in this case, it's a generic item that I'm selling this person. They've agreed to purchase it. I would be comfortable with this being an approved invoice. You do you, I'll do me. We'll both be happy. No stress. So I will send this. Cleaning up some agent memory. Could do with a cleanup of my memory. All right, perfect. The online invoice URL is working beautifully. Yep, great. It's going to update the invoice creation to make it approved instead of draft. Yes, please. It's rerunning our app. So it thinks it's finished. Let's try it one more time. Hopefully the last time. Let's see that it is now working and it's using the correct invoice URL. Last Muppet, probably. XeroAIDemos@gmail.com. Paste my phone number in, pick a date, book the appointment, cross our fingers, cross our toes, cross everything, booking's confirmed, view the invoice. Hey, and we've got an online invoice. We can pay by PayPal. We can view the invoice details. Great. This is what we wanted. So, a little bit of a windy road to get there. Several things we needed to sort out. But the cool thing is we have created the invoice. It's in Xero. The contact is in Xero. The booking has been confirmed. We've got an email that's been sent to us as well. Let's just confirm the email's there. Great, it's there. Gonzo, great. The email is there. Very cool. So yeah, there's some tidy up that we want to do, right? We're going to come in here and we're probably going to change the name of this. You can do that in your own time. You don't need to see me doing that. It's not super exciting. We got pretty close to our free tier limit, but we made it just in time. So you can do the same. Again, if you want to deploy this, you will have to upgrade to the paid version of Replit. If you would like to see a tutorial on how to deploy this app in Replit, then please comment below, let me know, and we'll put together a video based on that. But hey, you know, you're a developer now if you've followed along and you're working like that. What I'll say is that your mileage may vary as well. Like, AI is not always predictable, and you might have typed the same things and got different results to me. That's fine. That happens. Hopefully you managed to figure your way through it as well. I will pop a GitHub gist below in the description below of the different things that I needed to type to get this working, so that you can copy and paste from that if you want to. But yeah, you know, we've got a booking website. It works. It's pretty cool, right? Like, if you were had to pay someone to do that 5 years ago, that would have been a lot of money. If you were going to pay for a software as a service thing that did that, it would be a lot of money. You're still going to pay Replit to host this if you're going to put it out there, but you can customize it in whatever way you choose. You can put stuff in Xero whatever way you choose as well. So very, very cool custom development in your hands, doing what you want. And I think it's pretty powerful, and I'm really excited about it. So I hope you're excited about it too. Join me next time for another very interesting tutorial where we're going to show you another very interesting custom development piece that can help your business. And in the meantime, take care of yourselves, and I will see you soon.